Imagine, if you will, a journey through a sea of charged particles, a voyage that takes you through two zones of intense radiation encircling our planet. Sounds dangerous, right? Now imagine accomplishing this in the late 1960s. This is the story of the Apollo missions and their daring sojourn through the Van Allen radiation belts. First, let's delve into what these mysterious belts actually are. Named after the physicist James Van Allen, who discovered them in 1958, the Van Allen radiation belts are two distinct regions of space where Earth's magnetic field has trapped charged particles. We're talking electrons and protons here, folks. The inner belt, the closer of the two to our planet, brims with high-energy protons. The outer belt, on the other hand, is rich with electrons. Now, you're probably wondering, how does all this relate to the Apollo missions? Well, between 1969 and 1972, the Apollo spacecraft carrying our brave astronauts had to pass through these belts on their way to the moon. And yes, this is where some of the conspiracy theories come into play. There's a notion out there that these belts of radiation would have been too intense, too deadly for our astronauts to safely journey through. Some even say that this casts doubt on whether we ever landed on the moon at all. But fear not, the truth is out there. And it's not as sinister as some would have you believe. The Apollo missions were meticulously planned, and steps were taken to ensure the safety of the astronauts. They didn't leisurely cruise through these radiation belts, but rather, they zipped through them, minimizing the time of exposure. The trajectory of their journey was also carefully chosen to pass through the thinnest parts of the belts. Furthermore, the spacecraft themselves offered a degree of protection. They were shielded, providing a barrier between the astronauts and the radiation. So, in essence, while the Van Allen radiation belts did indeed present a challenge, they were not an insurmountable obstacle. The Apollo missions were designed with these hazards in mind, and the necessary precautions were taken to safeguard the lives of those on board. The scientific community at large stands behind the authenticity of the Apollo moon landings. There's substantial evidence supporting their success, and the journey through the Van Allen radiation belts is just one more testament to the ingenuity and courage of those who dared to reach for the moon.